great. Is she brand new in real estate too, you said, right?
Yeah, I just got my license.
Yeah, introduce yourself. That's great.
I've been just joined real, so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good job.
Welcome.
That's cool.
I'm going to put the thing away.
Yeah, no, you're good. Okay. Great. We can just get seated. We'll get started. Appreciate everyone coming here. So we do have a couple of announcements. So as you've seen, we're going to start doing Mastermind at 10 a.m. It's kind of a vote, and we've had a lot of complaints about moving it to 9:30 and with kids and everything. So we decided to move it back to 10. So appreciate everyone, willingness to change on that. And then I know Lewis had a couple of things he wanted to chat about.
Well, when next week with the WCR, did you talk about that?
Oh yeah. So next week thanks for reminding me that.
Yeah.
So on the WCR, we're going to support WCR moving forward, and so they meet the third week of every month. And
Is that right? That is right.
That's the calendar. Yep, I got it. I talked to Stacy about it and that. And so, the third week, we won't hold anything here. Normally that's strategy session. So what we're going to do is we're going to move that to the fourth week. If everyone wants to do that, I think that strategy session is a really important part of it, and I know that everyone enjoys that. So we still want to keep that on, but we also want to support WCRs. So everyone good with that? Does that sound like a good plan?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. And I'll say something real quick for everybody. The school, I know it sounds weird. We set up this school thing. It's just what everyone's been asking for. Like, how instead of on GroupMe, can we just connect everything? Just everything's on school. The calendar's on there. The links will be there for Zoom. The address will be there if it's in person. If there's a change to the calendar, the date, you'll get like a reminder. It's free. There's an app, and it's on your desktop. So all you have to do is sign up for school. It's free. Just click our link. I can put it in GroupMe again. Okay. Just click on it, because we've only had like 20 people going there out of like the 150 or whatever.
So does the feed still show up? That's the one thing I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, so there's going to be different columns.
People post things.
Yeah, so there's discussion, and then there's like open houses, and you just got to click on the different ones. So next week, we don't have time today, but not next week, but the next time we meet during strategy session, I'll pull it up and show everybody and how it works. Yeah, it should be a one-stop shop hub for everyone.
And just so everyone knows, that the app, it has an S and a K, and it's orange and blue.
Yeah.
So, because I tried to look it up yesterday, and there was a whole bunch, and I was like, which one is it? And so, Lewis sent me a screenshot. So, anyway, download the app, and then you can get in there, and then it'll link to your phone, and then it'll give you calendar reminders and everything. So, it's nice. So, do we... Chad, you want to just come up now? We'll just do that, and then I know a few more people are coming in. So, Chad Felter with Nelson Homes is going to talk to us for a few minutes. He's been nice and kind enough to come bring us some food and snacks in the back. And then if anyone has ever worked with Nelson Homes, they're phenomenal to work with. Chad's the best agent that they have by far, so highly recommend him. He's got some awesome things to talk about and different communities and whatnot. So I'll turn it over to him.
So I even bought a brand new shirt for you guys today.
Oh, look at that!
I didn't iron it though. I was thinking that I would just be able to wear my jacket because it was cold outside, right? Yeah, I guess it got exposed. I think Lewis did it because it's like 900 degrees.
I tried turning it down. It's when all the people show up. It brings the heat.
Right?
You know what I mean?
No, I'm glad to be here. This is awesome. I am very excited to see who's in this room. There's some names and faces that I recognize. And you've got some true leadership in here. Without calling out, I don't want to single out anybody, but like Karen, for example. Pretty amazing the things that you're doing and have done. I have the opportunity to work with her with community outreach. And obviously on the board, I get to visit with lots of people. But there's some leaders in here, right? Leaders want it, so are you guys leaders?
Yes.
That's right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're here, right? Everybody else is sleeping until noon.
That's right.
Decide to work maybe an hour or two a day. Anyway, I represent Nelson Homes. Grateful to be here. Most of you that have worked with us know what we do. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now. We sold just over 80 homes, put them under contract in the last 7 weeks.
Jeez.
Wow.
So yeah, is that mind-boggling? And I hear all the time, I mean, especially on the board side, we talk about people that, no, we don't talk about people, we talk about the state of the industry. There's a lot of people that are very tenured in this business that are dropping, right? Like 20, 30 year seasoned veterans that have gone back to jobs and doing some things that are different. Our market is different, right? We've got the advent of AI, and now we can clone ourselves and do marketing videos. And it's different, right? Those of you that have been in here for a minute, you know that you just have to adapt and evolve. And I love what you guys are doing right here. I've been through this presentation from Graham. You're in for a treat, right? He's got some great stuff that he's going to share with you. But we're doing the same thing at Nielsen Homes. We're adapting and trying to morph with the industry. One of the big things is the affordability crisis that's going on right now. If you don't follow the stats from Zonda, let me just kind of apprise you of what we've got going on. So there's about 37,000 housing units that we're deficient in the state of Utah right now. Just think of that for a second, right? And the trend that we're pacing at right now is going to put us even higher. We could be as much as 300,000 housing units deficient in the next 10 years. Most of those are our children, or our grandkids, right? I have 5 kids. This is how many I have in a home right now. I had 2 in townhomes. One of them sold, made some money like yours, right? But went through a little bit of a rough divorce. And then I have another one that got in, but couldn't afford it. Couldn't maintain it, had a baby. And it's tough, right? So to put it into perspective, you have to make $120,000 combined income to get into a starter home in today's world. Could you do that when you were younger?
Nope.
Me either, right? My first starter home was a $51,000 bungalow up on Eccles, and my grandma wallpapered it for us. My wife's brother painted it, and our first night sleeping there, we could see the cherry tree in the backyard through the crack in the foundation. Literally, it was about that big, right? That was my starter home, but it was a platform that launched me and my wife to where we are today. That's what Nielsen Homes is trying to do with starter homes. So Karen, I'm excited to hear that you have a first-time home buyer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
what do you
congratulations.
got for me?
Yeah, right. I have 3 plans that are ready to go in 2 months, and we're building 90 of them. These are anywhere from 2,800 to 30-ish, 3,200-ish square feet. They're going to range from $418 to about $433 in price, right? That's a lot compared to my $51,000, but it's the new starter home in today's world. They're 1-car garages. Some of them have 3 bedrooms, some have 2. They all have at least 2 baths. Some have 2.5, and they all have basements, which is new. Our first phase, we didn't have that. But they also went for $369 and $398. But morphing, times have changed again, right? And we do have some incentive money. It's very lean on that. It's $2,000. But it is all we can do to try to get some kids into these homes, right? Otherwise, they're going to be living in Houston, Louisiana, Tennessee, wherever they can go to make it work, okay? So if you are interested in learning more about the starter homes, that is a big movement with Nielsen Homes. We're really trying hard to get your kids and grandkids into homes. It's not the only thing we have. We have townhomes. Townhomes in a couple different locations. They're going to be right around $399 to $419. Some of them have 2% of the purchase price in incentives. Some of them have 4%, so they're doing double incentives on a few homes. Those are the ones that are sat for a minute. Maybe they're not the most desirable location, etc. Right? So from there, we got 2-story homes that are in the low 5s. Go up to the mid 5s. We even have some with ADU units. That's another selling tactic or technique, I should say, that you can utilize in today's market. What does an ADU do? It's different than it used to be, right?
Helps offset.
It does, yeah. Lending guidelines used to require 2 years of history in order to qualify it as income, right? That's changed. It's changed. So now, if you sign a 6-month lease, you can get your offset like you're talking about, right? What that does is it opens up our buyer pool by about 30%. So you now are a more effective and useful agent because you can utilize ADUs as part of your marketing tactics, right? So we have 2-story homes and we have single-family homes. They have ADU units. That's a big thing. If you went to the policy summit a couple weeks ago down at the state, or down with the state rather, in the legislation, they're pushing for ADU units. You're going to see more and more of them become familiar with them because it's going to be a big part of your business. And then single-family homes, obviously, we have up to $1 million. There's 13 communities that we have currently. We're building about 350 homes a year. And it's primarily Weber County and some Davis. So wherever you do business, wherever that be, I'm guessing the bulk of it's probably right here. Leverage what we have because it's working, it's effective, and it's a good quality home. 10-year home warranties. Just, I mean, Sean's done some business with me. Lewis has done some business as well. Laurie has. Graham, obviously. But those of you that have done business know it's a good experience. And so to enhance that, I brought you some goodies.
Heck yeah.
Nobody really cares about the notebook. Right? Nobody even cares about the card on there. I stapled it just so it's a little harder for you to take off. Right? But if you open that up and look at the back side, you're going to see our Nielsen Certified Realtor Program. That's just flashy words, certified. But what we do is we reward you for your efforts. About 80% of our deals are done with agents. Let me repeat that. About 80% are done with agents. How many builders do you know that do business, that level of business with agents? Not very many. A lot of them try to cut you out of the deal. I've been a victim of that myself when I was working in the existing market. I did it for 6 years. I don't like it. We don't like it. That's why we're sponsorships of things like WCR or RPAC. You get a healthy diet of Jed or Tom or us, right? It's a little embarrassing, honestly, because we don't like to stand up there. We're not that type of individual to receive the recognition. But we love what we're doing. We love that we're a part of all of these different affiliations, including you. So we work with you. We want you. We don't want to be that builder that cuts somebody out. But make sure you're registering your clients. There is a protocol, right, so that you're not going in and getting cut out. If you've ever experienced it, it's not a welcome thing. But there are incentives on the back. Obviously, we pay 3% commissions on everything except the starter home. Sorry, Karen. Those are too lean. Those are 1.5%. 0.5%. Yeah. But you can always add that in, right? So there's ways around it. So anyway, one thing we're doing differently with our Realtor Rewards program is we're offering this bump. So it's a one-time bump. So let's say you do your first deal, you automatically jump to the second level, which is your dues and your MLS, your board dues and MLS dues paid. Right? You can utilize this whenever you want. Some of you have done multiple transactions in a year. Leverage it when you're ready. It may take you to a year's worth of gas, or it may take you to $5,000 for a travel voucher. That'll get you to Italy.
I've had my dues paid from you guys. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
And I like it. It's an extra little perk. I love it.
It really is.
Yep.
It really is. There is an expiration date. I put January of 2027 to give you that extra little bit, right? Because we're kind of good to 26 already. But use it is my point. Use it. I would say the vast majority of agents do not utilize all the arrows in their quiver. They really don't know the power of marketing themselves and leveraging things like this in their favor. Your business will go up exponentially if you do. That's a promise. But lean on us. We're grateful to have all of you guys. Looking forward to working with you and eat some Chick-fil-A little mini biscuits and fruit and enjoy Graham. He's awesome.
Thank you.
Eddie?
Thank you.
Oh, no, I was just going to say if people want to hurry and grab food real quick, and then Graham will get started, right? So,
Do those first-time home buyer, does it come with front landscaping
It
or
does.
nothing?
Yeah, great question. So the first phase came with front and back landscaping as well as perimeter fencing on the back. So that was driven by the county because it was the first one in Plain City. It was facing the roads, right? the county has a lot to do with what we're doing in Plain City, as well as Governor Cox. So the second phase will have full front landscaping, but then they made us choose between a full fence in the back or landscaping. We elected to do the fencing. We felt that probably made more sense, especially if you have pets or things. So it will be front full landscaping, rear fencing, and then they would maintain all of their yards as well. So $75 a month.
And when does this project start?
So they're underway already. We start rolling them out next month. So our goal is to do 3 per month. We have 90 something that we're building, and we have a list that's about 30 strong right now waiting. So when their turn comes up, they get to pick from everything that we have. I suppose that about a third of those will drop. They bought homes or circumstances have changed. We're already starting to see some of that. But to get on the list, it's a pre-qualification letter with one of our preferred lenders. Whether you use it or not, doesn't matter, but that's just the protocol. We timestamp it and then they're on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? All right.
Cool.
Okay,
Thanks, Jeff.
thank you guys.
Appreciate
Appreciate
it.
it. Care if I join you?
For sure. So yeah, everyone go grab some food real quick and then we'll get started with Pam.
Yeah, I saw
Well,
on
you've
the way
been busy
here
with
as the
all
light
that
one
work
came
on
up
it.
that said on Plain City, fence, front and backyard, 4 bedrooms, close baths. It's like
There you go.
I'm listing to tomorrow.
Yes.
Third on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. We got 4 going on this week, so just.
I had to round it out to a little.
That's over by,
She was telling us all of
still
this.
4:30 or 5. So
Yeah,
this is
that's
more like
tough.
far
It's-
west.
It's not
though,
a
'cause it's
stable.
off of
It's like, also
27.
you want to be this place, it's sustainable.
Not too, I mean, it's just not, you're pretty much the same thing.
Yes, it's a big deal.
I just got anything back
You had me say static.
Which it doesn't give you a full extra 50
Yeah, that's how you do
Just from the
volume,
freeway.
is you have to make sure you know what's going on.
To break them
But then you have
I
other
had a
people
guy
who
call
come
me
to you
yesterday.
and say, hey,
From your list.
like, I talk to the clients, hey, this is what's going on, and I say, DTC, will you do all the pictures?
He says he
She does it
wants
from here,
so-and-so.
but you would never know otherwise, right? Like, where's it coming from? Like,
Yeah, 20,000.
It's been good. I had to trust her.
yeah,
I'm not interested, you're not interested in me.
it's tough. It is so tough to do that, right? Yeah, it is tough, but it's exciting when you start hitting those milestones. You're like, okay, cool, this is working.
That's good.
It's not good, it's awesome. But you're gonna have different anyway, so.
This county needs to do it like fine. We're fine.
Yep.
We're selling
Multiple dominant.
So my 2 insertions. One thing.
For the signation? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he emailed it to me, so yeah, I can, I guess I'll have to ask him, but I think he can also share or something.
Question person, don't.
Yes.
And some are not.
It's interesting, right? Yeah. Like, guys, we're really reading the same book. Let's just get to the finish line, right?
It's helpful. You let your client and I have mine, and they're my top priority. But it doesn't even have to.
Let's get started.
Perfect. If we're recording, things are good.
Okay, guys, it is awesome to be here with you today. So I guess we already hit the wins, but what in your business is freaking crushing right now? Like anybody here like saying something they love in their business right now? What's in your love in your business?
I've been loving being able to help other people.
Okay.
Because honestly, it's not as hard as everyone has in their mind. And if you can get them to change their mindset, they can actually start becoming successful.
Okay.
So I love that part of it.
Okay, love empowering and helping others, right? I love it.
I've been loving actually meeting a lot of new people this last year.
Okay.
You know, just new clients, new, referrals, and a lot of them are complete cold.
I love it. Okay. So creating new relationships, connections, developing, building our sphere that we get to connect with, right? At the end of the day. I love it. What about anything in your business you're like, oh, this is rough right now? Anything in your business rough?
Oh, a lot.
What's one that's rough right now, guys?
I have few sellers from a couple years ago that have no equity, and
it's always a tough conversation.
Yeah, it's a tough conversation.
Yeah, it's really tough. When I do my intake calls from sellers specifically, I know I have a process. It's a 15-minute call every single time. Like I know exactly what the conversation is going to look like. And you start going through with them. Hey, tell me when you buy your house, and they start. They say, oh, I bought it in 2022, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be. And then I'm like, cool, what'd you buy it for? They said I bought it for this much, and then I said, great, how much do you owe on it? And this is the worst when it's like $100,000 more than what it was they bought it for. I'm like, how do you owe that much on it? And like, oh, we took out a second loan, and we took out a HELOC, and we bought this and did this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, nothing's gonna help. That's not gonna help you. But anyway, so you have these really difficult conversations with sellers, and sometimes you work through those conversations like, hey, this is what we can do. Let's make a plan of attack. Other times you say, yeah, we gotta wait. Like it doesn't make financial sense to do this right now. We have to pivot until you're ready to make this happen. We can make a plan so you can pivot towards that successful destination, right? So that's always tough when that happens. Anybody else? Any other like really tough things that are just crushing right now? That are tough to have on your business.
Rates.
Okay.
Rates. It's always a hard conversation.
Always a hard conversation. But what's interesting with interest rates, so when you really, really break down the interest rate conversation, here's the interesting part of it. People always say, well, I want interest rate in the 5. Well, people always say, I want interest rate in the 3s, right? Well, that's not happening, right? The government subsidized those rates to get us to 3s, right? That wasn't reality, never was true, right? So the par rate, today you're sitting around 5.9 or 6%, whatever it is, right? And people are like, well, I just want to be in the 5s. If I get a 5.5, I would make the move. Right? Have you ever people say something like that? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's 5.25, whatever it is. But the rates today sit at 6.25 with their interest or with their credit, etc. But what's the actual difference in cost? 6.25 or 5.25? What are we talking about, guys?
$100.
It's like $100, right? Give or take. So it's interesting when you start having real conversations with clients about what that interest rate means. All of a sudden they start saying, "That's it? Yeah, it's $100. It's your Netflix account. Get rid of it. You're good, right?" So what's interesting is sometimes when we talk to buyers, they get very stuck on interest rates. But I don't think that's the true conversation. The conversation is not so much an affordability problem as much as it is a consumer problem. They have to reduce some things in their life in order to hit the greater goal they want, right? The reality, that's where we're at. You don't get everything. You get the things you want to prioritize in your life. And if you want to prioritize a Netflix account, a Disney Plus account, and Paramount Plus, or whatever other things are out there, then yeah, that is what you can get. If you want to prioritize long-term wealth building and ownership, then we can help you get that too. Did you see what I'm saying? So it's a really powerful thought when you look at it that way. And Jeff Glover, I did some coaching with Jeff Glover. He's a national coach. He asked someone in a class I was in. He said, "Who here has something breaking or tough in their business right now?" And it's really funny because this is the class, all sorts of producers in this class. And you had a couple of people kind of sheepishly raise their hand. Well, maybe I do. And other people. And he's like, guys, stop it. If you don't have something wrong in your business, you're not doing enough business. And that's probably the reality of it, guys. I always have something that is in the fire, right? That we're trying to pull back out and find a way to get successful. And that's where you bring a lot of your value, is the ability to say, yeah, let me help you stand at 10,000-foot view. And let me help you take this really, really big, hairy, terrible problem, and let's find a solution that gets everyone to yes and makes it work for us, okay? D, right now we're doing a really fun transaction, and there's excitement in transactions, right? That's how it works. But there's always a way forward when you keep the communication lines open, you stay motivated on what the real goal is, right? So I love that idea. So never have shame to reach out to others, to be like, I have a really tough thing going on right now, I need help with it, cool, let's find a way to get you to the successful place, okay? Because, yeah, I have deals falling apart every single day. That's just what it is. So we're putting that together every single day. So I want you to think about this, guys. Have you ever had a month where you had 3 to 4 deals close at once in the month, and you felt like you were on top of the world and unstoppable, right? Like, that's a pretty sweet feeling. And then the next month, nothing under contract. That pipeline begins to thin, and you begin to feel the pressure come in, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? This business can create incredible income and incredible instability at the same time. And at every point, every serious agent is going to ask the same question: is this sustainable? Can I really do this, right? Not just for a year, not just for a market cycle, but for a lifetime. So what if real estate wasn't something you had to do forever, but rather something you use to build forever? That's the goal with real estate, right? How can I use this career to build the rest of the life I want? Imagine if money wasn't holding you back. Imagine, if money wasn't holding you back, what dream would you chase? What great adventure would you live? And how would you build others up? The truth is, we can do that. But everyone here has to chase their dreams and make a difference and leverage wealth if you understand the prosperity pivot required to have it and how to earn it consistently. And having that pivot is a rhythm in your life, right? Because I think we've all had it where life is great, we're crushing it, and then life is like, oh my gosh, what just happened to my business, right? like it goes back and forth. So how do you create consistency? And this is a little bit of what my first mentor in real estate, Travis Noakes, what he taught me about how to create consistency in your business. And that's what I want to share with you today. So the next one here is the prosperity formula. It's vision times consistency plus systems plus perseverance multiplied by opportunity equals prosperity. The equation teaches the cadence of success. It's repeatable actions coupled with mindset and systems. And when you have a clear vision, you show up consistently, use the right systems, persevere when things get hard, and stay ready to capitalize on opportunity, prosperity becomes inevitable. You truly become unstoppable in your business. We'd like to be unstoppable here, right?
Yeah.
Punch through walls, make it happen, because that's what we are. And that's what you can become. Dr. Hardy said this quote. He said, your future self...
Oh, did I go?
Go
I
ahead,
went
real quick.
too
It
fast.
says,
Sorry.
your future self should guide your present actions. The more connected you are to your future self, the more intentional and urgent your present becomes. I love that quote to think about it, because what do you envision yourself to be in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? The more real that vision becomes for you, the more real your actions become today. So here's what it actually looks like in real life. You choose the goal. And then something interesting happens. The goal starts choosing the actions. You begin building systems to support those actions. And when you stay accountable to those systems, success starts showing up. And success does something powerful. It builds motivation. And motivation sustains the work. Until you achieve the goal, until you achieve that goal. So this is why it matters, because goals determine actions, not the motivation, not the circumstances, and not the market. If you're an agent that gets stuck in, well, the market's not good, so my business isn't good, then you will always be stuck in a business that's not good. The market doesn't determine your goals or your actions. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So the reality is so you decide the goals, and the goals tell you how to show up. Like, that is if you can take one thing away from this, stop overthinking, what do I do now? I want to go make, like who here, if I said who here wants to make $100,000 this year? Is anybody's goal here? Like, I want to make 100 K, I want to make 200, 300, 400, 5, I don't care how many K you want to make, right? I want to have 3 investment properties. But once you determine the goal, then your actions have to become repeatable, and stop thinking about what to do, just start doing something.
Can I say one thing on
Yeah.
that? I'm a weirdo with goals. If I don't have a goal, I'm actually depressed and anxious.
Okay, fair enough.
So I always have some kind of goals, and then I just always reverse engineer it.
Yep.
Like you said, if your goal is to make $1 million this year or whatever it is, okay, how many units is that? How much production do I have to do?
Mm-hmm.
How many deals? Whatever. That breaks all the way down to how many phone calls you're having a day, or what your actions to get the clients, right? But you have to start with the goal first, otherwise you're just
Yeah, it gives you the mountaintop point, right?
It's like climbing a mountain,
Ben
yeah.
Lomond Peak
Yeah.
and saying, how do I get to Ben Lomond Peak? I know that's where I want to go. How do I get there? I'm going to follow the trail, and the trail already has consistent actions in place to get there. Okay? So I mean, just reverse engineer it, and your life will transition. So the goal decides how you show up, and every achievement, great achievement, starts right here. It decides to bring bigger. It's deciding to dream bigger than your current reality. Does anybody want something bigger than what they currently have potentially?
Yes.
Right? That's kind of sweet, right? Whether that's investment properties, whether that's I have a 401k, there's this much money in it, whether it's I have this many transactions done. Every great achievement starts with the dreamer. Take Henry Ford, for example. When he set out to build an affordable car for ordinary people, he wasn't focused on what was. Think about that. If he was focused on what was, people would say, well, instead of giving us a 2-horse buggy, how about you get us a 3-horse buggy or a 4-horse buggy, right? Make it go even faster. But he was focused on what could be. And that's creating an affordable car for every person. He failed more than once. Sometimes ventures even went bankrupt. But he refused to see failure as final. So you have to persevere to the goal even when setbacks push you back. So the next one here is the truth of your financial reality. If you don't decide who your future self is, your past will decide for you. Okay? I want you to think about that. If you don't decide who your future self is, the past will decide for you. That's not motivational. That's reality. Because every one of us is the living financial result of decisions we've already made. Like that's where you are in your life because of what you decided last week, last month, 3 years ago. Right? Doesn't matter when you decided, that's what you've become. Is that the truth of your financial reality isn't luck, it's direction. It's habits and it's beliefs. And before anything changes out there, we have to be honest about what's happening in here, right? In our data every single day. So, are you pleased with your current financial reality? I think some people in this room can say, yeah, I really am. Some people say, yeah, I'm really not. And that's okay either way. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment. It's just where are you at currently and where do you want to go. Not just your intentions, not just your effort, but your reality. So, because the moment we face the truth, the moment change becomes possible. So it's a truth I had to face myself. So let me tell you a little bit of a story from me. In 2016, my wife Emily and I lived in Las Vegas, Nevada. We actually loved living in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had three children, young kids, and I was working, my wife was staying home, taking care of our kids, and I was working for a nonprofit organization. I loved what I did. It was awesome. I took care of people. I got to train future leaders. Like, it was amazing. But what's crazy is I kept saying, because I love doing this, it's going to work and get better. Because I'm pretty good at it, it's going to be better. But my financial reality told me a different story. Financial reality said, Graham, every month you have to decide between your house payment or fixing some appliances that are broken. Right? Like, that's where our reality was. Is I was like, man, we literally cooked on we used a crock pot and a outdoor grill to cook for about 6 months because our microwave and our stove both died simultaneously, and we didn't have the funds or the resources or the vision to fix it. Does that make sense? Like, we just got to a place where we were stuck, and I was like, I love what I'm doing, but I'm so busy doing what I'm doing, I can never take the mental time to carve out a new reality for myself. And all that changed when I read a quote by Rex Tillerson. He was the former CEO of ExxonMobil. He said, if there's no change, there is no change. It's really simple. It's kind of really so simple. I was like, oh my gosh. And I started thinking, okay, what do I have to change in my life to make this work? And then I began reaching out to friends, to associates. And I started doing some research around what can I do to change my life, my circumstance. And I wanted to change so badly, but I didn't know quite how to implement it. And then I really believe by divine intervention, God put someone in my place, Lamar Norda. He was a successful entrepreneur in Las Vegas, Nevada, and he was in a place that I wanted to get to. But what's cool is he saw potential, he saw vision, and he saw change. And he believed in me until I could believe in myself. And I was able to shatter a myth in my life that I was not worthy to make money. He helped me believe I could and that I should. He was the catalyst to shift my mindset. So that takes us to limiting beliefs. After sharing that experience, I realized in my own life, I wasn't the only one carrying these heavy beliefs. Is that fair?
Yes.
So when you look here, these show up everywhere. I'm not worthy to make money. Money doesn't come easy for me. Selling is manipulative. Only other people make real money. Money is the root of all evil. You have to struggle to succeed. Rich people are just lucky, and it's too late for me to change. Most people never say these out loud, and yet they shape our everyday actions. They shape what we charge in real estate. They shape how we negotiate. They shape how long we stay stuck, and they shape how much we believe we're allowed to earn. And we put a cap on ourselves. And we don't recognize it. They just keep running around in the background. And that's why mindset isn't fluff. It's the starting point. So I love it. When you look at that list, go right back to that list. Just think about this. Is there something that kind of like grabs you out there? It's like, oh, that's me. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'll say one. In the past, money doesn't come to me easy. I always felt like I had to work my ass off for it all the time, and it just didn't come to me.
Yeah.
And that almost became like a sword you would die on. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm willing to become a workaholic to get this. You were almost proud of how busy you were.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which busy and productivity are two different things.
Very, very different things, right? So I think, and this isn't a full comprehensive list, but guys, these are generational, right? It's not just like it showed up because you're not worthy of something. These are things maybe your mom, your dad, your grandparents believed, and it just got carried down to you in your life, and you have to stop that, or you will never progress to where you want to get to. You will feel like you're always on this hamster wheel, never achieving the success you want in your life. So once I literally looked at this list and I said, oh my gosh, this is me. There are a couple of here that were me, and I got rid of those. And then opportunities begin coming into your life. Now it's still up to you to capitalize on the opportunities, but they will come. So once awareness happens, direction becomes possible. The book of Proverbs tells us, where there is no vision, the people perish. So then we have to look and say, the real question is, where are you today? And where do you want to go? And what are the systems you're going to implement to help you scale yourself and your business to get there? So one of the things I do is I always like to go to the next one, is I like to focus on net worth. If I ask you today, by a raise of hands, who knows what their net worth is today? Okay, so a few of us, that's great. Who has no idea? And that's okay too if you have no idea. That's all right. We're all just starting where we are. So I want to talk to you about through net worth because it's so powerful. When I first started, so when I left my nonprofit career, and I just cut a cold turkey, I said, cool, we are leaving Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to go up and get our real estate license, and I'm going to figure out how to make this work. It was like we burned the boats, right? We're running up here. So we came up here, just stopped everything, reconnected back to Utah, had a wonderful experience. But what's fascinating is I had no idea what my net worth should be. In my mind, when I think of net worth, I always thought, okay, cool, like your net worth should be like $2 million. That is your number, right? Or $1 million. And look, I had like $7,000, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's not me. And because it wasn't me, I just didn't even go for it. Does that make sense? So sometimes I find net worth stops, when you have a wrong idea about net worth, you stop even trying to track it because you're never going to be successful. Remember, go back to that goal, that sheet I had earlier in the presentation. You choose the goals, but the goals dictate your action. So when your goal becomes so unachievable, you don't even go for it anymore. Right? So that happened to me for a decade. I was like, man, for a decade of work, I've got like $7,000 and maybe $2,000 in my 401k. It's pretty sweet, right? Not very sweet, right? But it was a reality that I lived in. And so I had to face the truth. So when I faced the truth, stay there for 1 second. This is the reality of the net worth formula. So you can take a picture of it. It's really powerful for me. You go your 10-year average salary. So you stop comparing yourself to anybody else. You say, what have I made over the last decade? Every single year. I made $20,000 this year. I made $40,000 this year. I made $150,000 this year. Whatever it looks like. I don't care. But you put in your 10-year, you put every single salary by year, your 10-year average salary, multiply by your age. I don't care if you're 40, 60, 20. I don't care. Put in your age, and you divide it by 10. What that's going to give you is that's going to give you a net worth formula that you can now set as a real goal for you to achieve. So go to the next screen because it's really interesting when you think about what should my net worth be. Here's just an example. Let's say this is a random real estate agent. The real estate John, he started in 2016. He made $41,000. It was crushing it the first year. Did a good job. Got what 7 closings, something like that. 2017 he did 45. 2018 65,000. 2019, 70,000, and then he had some really good years, 100,000, 180,000, 150,000, and then the COVID bump ended. And he's like, oh crap. He made 80,000, 50,000, 60,000, 65,000. So what's interesting is over 10 years, this agent made $146,000. Almost $1 million in 10 years. But his net worth should be $338,400. That's That's literally what he should be worth at the end of the day. So what's powerful about this is this constantly adjusts based on what you make every year. So if you have some awesome years, your net worth better go up. Does that make sense? If you have some terrible years, yeah, you're probably going to go down your net worth. It's crazy to say, I will never change my net worth regardless of what my years do, right? Because your motivations are going to change, your direction is going to change, your goals are going to change. So, this
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't get it. So you add it all up for 10 years, and
Yep.
you divide it by 10 to give your average.
Yep.
And then how did you get
And
there?
then you're multiplying it by your age.
Oh, by your age. That's
So
what
if
I
you're
missed.
40, 41, 72, I don't
Okay.
care, whatever it is, that's going to be the secret sauce to say this is where you
Oh,
should be
yeah.
at today.
I'm just dumb.
No, you're not dumb at all. So that's where you're going for that, is you want to make sure that you're super aware of your net worth.
That's the net worth.
So
Keep
when
going.
you,
You're good.
yep, so you guys good with that? Any questions on the net worth formula?
And
Okay.
that's net, not gross. So that's not.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about next.
Okay.
So yes, let's talk about that next. So when you start looking at your goals, if beliefs shape how we are, net worth shows us where we really are. I just want to refocus that. Not what you say, not what you post, not what we closed last month, but our net worth tells the truth. Most agents track production. Is that fair? All of us track how many deals I do, how many contracts I go on, whatever it is, right? But our net worth tells us the truth, and very few track net worth. Closings feel like progress. Income feels like progress, but income without ownership doesn't create freedom. So we start with awareness. So this is a simple way I use to benchmark my net worth. So let's come in here to this slide right here. The questions, goals are about what you get, but they're about what you become. So the first question I asked is, do I track my net worth or my gross net worth, right? What's the difference? Well, it's post-taxes, pre-taxes, right? That's what we're really talking about here. So when I start tracking my net worth, again, where was I at? I had to have a lot of money. I had $7,000, whatever it was, right? So if I try to track my gross, do you think I'm going to be successful in hitting that? No, because motivation is driven by success, right? So I say I have to create something that I can be successful with. So where can I be successful? I can be successful with my net worth, right? So you start wherever works for you. I start tracking my net, and then once I hit that and had success, I move to my gross. Okay? Just make it work for you. There's no science to this other than you want to have success. You just need remember success leads to motivation, so be accountable to small successes to build up more motivation. Okay, next part is how do I track it? I'm just going to go through these bullet points real quick, but how do I track it? Look, I track it really simple. I use an Excel spreadsheet. It's got to be simple, stupid, like monkey banana, right, type thing. Like I know I'm going to get this result if I do this. So at the end of this presentation, I'll shoot you over. I have a QR code you guys can scan, and you can get the net worth formula that I use, right? You can just do it as an Excel spreadsheet. You can pop it in every single day and start tracking your net worth. For me, it became transformational in what I saw every month. So that's the next question is, how do I track it? What do I track? So you're going to track three things on it, okay? When you track your net worth, number one, you track your liquid assets. We talk about liquid assets, what do we talk about?
Bank accounts.
Bank account, minus any credit card debts, cash, etc. That's your liquid assets. Think accessible today, okay? Second thing you track is non-liquid assets. What do we talk about with that?
Properties.
Properties, homes, work trailers, whatever you have, right? Those are non-liquid assets. So think I have to sell this to get real value out of it. It may take time. Home, value versus mortgage. Cars, value versus loan. Work trailer, etc. Right? And just be real on these assessments, guys. Like if you want to play your numbers, sure, put whatever cool price you want on your home value. But you're real. You know what the market's doing. Just be real on what it actually is. Okay. And number three, investment accounts. Think accessible, but not immediately. So your 401k, your company stocks, whatever it is. That's going to be the third thing you track in there, because that's going to tell you what your overall net worth is. And then the next question is when do I track it? When do you guys think you track your net worth? What is there a secret date or a special date you got to do for your net worth?
I always do it before taxes.
13th. Why the 13th?
I like the number.
You like the number, okay?
I always do it before taxes, like getting all of my numbers together.
Okay. But I want you to track it every month.
Yeah.
This is a monthly experience, okay? So every month you're going to wake up on a certain day and you're going to track your net worth. The reality is it doesn't matter what day you track it. You pick the day, I'm cool with that. I'll tell you the day I do. I do mine on the 26th of every month. 26 is not my favorite number, so why do I do the 26th? Because really two simple days. One, it captures most of the income that happened over that month. Okay? Two, my credit card statement's due on the 28th. So if I pay it on the 26th, right, I'm going to go into my credit card, my bank account, I'm going to see my net worth, I'm going to pay off my credit card, and then I calculate my net worth from that. That's it. So for me, I always keep my credit score high, and I never have late fees. That was the secret sauce. So pick a date that works for you guys and roll with it, okay? And then why do we track it monthly? Why don't we just track it annually?
Well, I do mine monthly now that you're saying that, because I pay my bills monthly.
Sure, you
I don't
pay,
wait
yep.
till the end of the year to pay everything. But
And now what you want is you want a place that you can show what you are worth every single month. Well, why do we track it monthly?
I think the monthly will get you to the yearly that you need to.
Yes,
You're gonna be on
absolutely.
track to-
Right.
Part of reverse engineer.
Big goals are all
Yeah.
made up of small systems
Mhm.
and small steps, right? So that you just have to find a way to do this every single month. So for me, it is it's a sacred day in my world, right? And it doesn't take a ton of time. It takes me a couple hours. I go through all my accounts, all my investment portfolios, whatever it is, and I track my net worth. Like that's it. But what's really cool about this is number one, you're telling the universe you are serious about making this a reality in your life. Number two, it creates momentum every single month. I can go to my wife and be like, honey, we gotta look at this. This is awesome what's happening this month, right? Now some months it's not as cool, right? The stock market's not as kind some months, right? And so I'm like, that was a little hurtful, but it's okay because I'm still on track to achieve my goals.
Well, it's like how long would you drive your car with your eyes closed?
No.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta make changes. If
Yeah.
things adjust in your net worth, you make changes.
And this is the coolest thing, and I'm glad you said this, is think about this, guys. Because what I do and net worth does, when I track it every month, all of a sudden what happens in my life is I'm like, you know what? I really want to go on this awesome vacation. Or I really want this sweet couch. Or I want this really cool thing, right? This awesome car. But then I can look at my net worth budget and formula and say, does that increase my net worth? And if it's a yes, it's a go all the time, right? If it's a no, then that I better be able to justify why that purchase brings me so much happiness. It's okay to not push my net worth forward.
Yeah.
And it's okay either way are good decisions. I just have to make sure that, hey, because you see a lot of agents, they just had a sweet closing, they come back with a brand new car. Is that Mercedes going to help you close more deals? If it increases that opportunity, then go for it. If it doesn't, I probably think twice about it. Because I'm going to make sure I'm going to check myself or wreck myself, right? I'm going to make sure that my life is moving in the correct steps to get forward. So that's what I track my net worth questions. Any questions on that net worth stuff real quick? Pretty straightforward? Okay. All right. Once you start tracking net worth, you begin to see the difference between earning money and building wealth. Income grows linearly, but ownership compounds, and that's where real momentum happens. So I just grabbed this real quick, this screenshot, but the ownership advantage, because in our business, the more you create ownership, the more opportunities you have for growth. Now, ownership can come in a lot of different ways. It can come because I'm a team owner. It can come because I'm part of a big organization myself. Ownership can come for stock purchases, right? You put money into a stock, that becomes ownership in something. You buy extra investment properties, that's ownership. In a real broker, I get ownership by my stock, right? I pay my stock every single month, and I get ownership. Jordan, we had a conversation. Jordan and I worked together about 2 years ago on a team together. He started building it. We worked together on a team. You left the company, but you did what did you do the other day? You told me about some of the stock you did.
It was with Real, the stock that you get with Real.
And you kind of forgot about it, right?
Yeah.
You bought it a couple years ago when you were part of the company and part of every transaction, just forgot about it. And you looked it back up to the surprise.
I think I got an email for taxes and looked at it, and I was like, I didn't realize I had that much.
Yeah.
So it had grown a bunch.
So it grew a bunch. And what's cool is ownership, the power of ownership. Ownership grows when you're not working. That's what you want to find in your life, in your business. I don't care where that's at or who that's with, but you have to find a way to create ownership in your life. So this is a really cool example here. It says, if I had $2,000 every year that I put into savings, multiplied by 30 years, it gets you $600,000. If I get ownership, compounding that, the average growth of ownership in the stock returns 8%, you get $2.4 million. Is that a difference in growth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Compounding.
So find a way to put your money into ownership and let it work for you. Okay? Trading time for money has a ceiling. Workers earn money. Ownership compounds. Owners build assets. Production is the fuel to income. Wealth comes when income is turned into ownership, and you build assets that work when you are not. Massive. Okay? All right. Next one. So when we look at this, I like to go. So nothing is hard if we divide it into small steps. That was from Ford. So start treating real estate as a business. So I want to hit this real quick. Or what are some things?
And you could probably go over a few minutes, I'm sure.
Okay.
You know what
all
I mean?
right.
Are you guys good with
A couple minutes
that?
over, is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So here's some things, regardless of where you're at in your business, regardless of how long you've been in your business, if you're starting, you've been in it for 20 years, these are key things you need to put as systems into your business. Okay. Number one, register as an LLC or S Corp. Does anyone here not have their business registered as an LLC? If you don't, get it registered. Do you file your taxes as an S corp?
Yes.
If you don't, you are losing lots of money.
A lot.
A lot
Like
of money.
probably
like
30 or
a
40,000
massive
dollars
amount of
minimum.
money every
Yeah.
year. Okay. I did the same presentation on a Zoom call with the mastermind group I'm part of, and there was an agent on there who made some really good money last year. And guess how much her tax liabilities are this year? She's like paying $120,000. But the reason and this was crazy because she's like, I don't have that money for it. But she made the money, but she doesn't have the money anymore with her. And the problem is she filed regular taxes, not as an S corp. When you do, and I'm not a tax accountant, guys, but all I know is my accountant said you're going to be an S corp. And I was like, cool, I'll do an S corp. But it saves you massively in your taxing. So even if you're not making money now, start putting the systems in place.
I have to say something on that. Hire the right professional is huge too. I had a accountant who was my friend, and he gave me a few deals every once in a while. So I'm like, I got to use him. And then my other friend, who's a lot more successful than me, said, you should talk to my accountant. And I talked to him, and he said, are you doing the Augusta rule and this and that?
Yep.
So I go to my accountant and say, I want to do these. And he goes, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So I had him check my taxes. He saved me $34,000 the first day. I'm like,
It's
dude,
great. It is crazy. So
are you kidding me?
Just like not all real estate agents are created equal.
Yeah.
Not all accountants are created equal. All right. Let's just roll that direction.
Make sure yours knows real estate well and the write-offs.
That's right. So I just say hire the right professionals and hire the right professionals regardless of where you're at. Again, I go back to my story. I remember meeting with my investment banker. I was like, cool, I'm going to get an investment guy. I was first year in the business. I had literally $7,000, a couple $1,000 in my bank account. But I was so sheepish when I met with him. I was like, he's like, show me your I had a 403B because it was nonprofit at the time. He's like, show me your 403B. I was like, oh, that's like $2,000. And it was super, like, it's sad. It was hard. But it was truth. And once I admitted that truth, he's like, cool, here's the plan to get you to success. Here's exactly how we're going to move you through the stages until you are exactly where you want to be. So I'm so grateful I did that on year number 1. And I met with the right professional who could get me on the track. If you need someone, let me know. Like, we've got people that can get you on the right track. Hire the right accountant.
Yes.
Perfect example, right? Lewis, that you gave there. So I love that. Next thing is open a business bank account. In real estate, are you allowed to commingle funds that you get from a client? Like, hey, I got the earnest money check. I'm going to put it into my bank account until I get it to the brokerage. Can you do
Unless you
that?
want to get fired. Unless you
No,
want to get
that's
in
a
big
short
trouble.
way to be done with your career, right? So let me ask this. If that's not ethical or right in professional settings, why is it right for you to commingle your personal and business funds? It's probably not. Right? So create a separate bank account. Like, do just simple things to say, I am running a business and not just a mom and pop shop. Okay? Next thing is multiple sub-accounts. You can do this however you want. It's kind of the cash envelope system is how I utilize this. Because knowing real estate commissions come in big or irregular chunks, what I didn't want to have happen, and I didn't want to open my business account and see, oh my gosh, I got $50,000 in there. I can do whatever I want now, right? Like, you don't want to just create this idea of that's not real. So what I did is I created multiple sub-accounts in my bank account, and I said, cool, here's my checking account. That's where all my funds get dropped into, and then I have multiple sub-accounts in between. And my sub-accounts are going to say, hey, here's this for your assistant fee, for your family, how much you can pay your family every month. And then I had in there my businesses, my conferences, whatever type of things I had in there that I needed. I put those in sub-accounts, so that way when I got commission, it just didn't disappear. I had a system in place that already decided for me what I was doing with those funds.
A great one too is marketing.
Yeah, marketing.
Just have it in there, and
business
then you don't feel
operations,
like you're-
marketing.
yeah.
And then what I do is I take whatever's in that checking account and I slice it out to each of my accounts because I know there's a goal I have to have in each of those accounts, right, to be sustainable and effective in my business.
I actually learned that one from Lewis a few years ago, and that was a game changer for me.
It's a game changer, guys. It makes your life so
I mean,
so big.
I even just did like a simple one because I love to go on vacation, so I
Put a
created
vacation fund in.
one.
Absolutely.
Then you have no guilt.
And,
You're not pulling
and then
from
they
savings.
go because the money's in there. You're like, oh, sweet, we got to spend this money anyway.
It's
so
there.
let's go.
I'm going to go, and I'm going to reward myself for the great work I'm doing, right? So I love that. Put another thing on here, emergency fund. So one thing I did with my bank account is then you start looking at it and say, cool, I fill up 1 month of expenses. That's great. Well, I'm going to challenge you, go to 3 months of expenses. Go to 6 months of expenses. Whatever you need to do to say, when I have a bad month in my business, I'm okay. I don't have commission breath because guess what? I'm okay. There's enough opportunity in this world. I'm going to go find some more opportunity for myself. So it's a big deal to kind of look through that. The next thing here is use a payroll company. I pay myself through a W-2. Like I'm a W-2 employee. I send the money to a payroll company who then sends the money to me. Actually, I don't do it. My accountant does it.
Do you have to do that or not? Because
If you're an S corp, you need a
Okay.
W-2.
If you're an S corp, you do. So there's
The
certain things you
LLC,
have
you
to. LLC you don't, but you don't want to be an S corp, so you save taxes.
Okay.
Like you gotta start implementing these things. Get out of debt. This is the snowball that can help you build your business as well. If you have debt, start paying off little debts at a time until you have no debt, right? That's the goal you want to get into, and then build up your investing to 15%. All right, that's something that's kind of what the professionals say you should do, but you want to make sure you set it. So in my account, I have an investment bank account, right, where I just know I put money into, and it goes out every time. I don't have to think about it. It's an automated system for me. Okay, these are systems of growth that can help you do it. And then I'll just be really brief on this, but build the machine that builds the wealth. That's what you're going to do. The biggest mistake is you run a business without a wealth system, and you look down the road and you have nothing to show for it. Right?
Yeah, a lot of people make multiple six figures.
I mean, look,
nothing
you
to
can
show
be in a
for it.
six-figure business and have no money. That's rough. So let's have a six-figure business and have something to show for it at the end of the day. Okay. All right, we'll just keep going to the next one. Automation creates consistency. Consistency wins. Time multiplies. So just start early and be consistent in the process. We can pass by that one. I know we're kind of running on time. This is something I want to show you this screen real quick. Visualize growth over decades. Money doubles roughly every 10 years in the market. I thought this was a powerful example. If I do nothing with if I just say, hey, I'm going to wait, cost of waiting 10 years, it's $117,000 difference. So if I wait to start my investing, you're going to lose money in the process with it. Okay, so start investing today. And then if I start at age 25, I do $1,000 a month, you're going to see in the blue, you have $3.1 million. That's pretty crazy. Compared to starting at age 25, $500 a month, that's a massive difference in that process. So just start looking at it and start saying I want to be consistent and I want to make sure that I'm building my future. Okay? So on that, it's all about big goals and small steps. Jeff Hayden said big goals can feel overwhelming. High achievers don't obsess over the goal, they work the process. You set a goal, use it to create your plan, then forget the goal and just do the plan consistently without fail. So for me, my net worth formula became something I did every single month without fail. Regardless of what has happened in the market, regardless of what my income was or wasn't.
I was just say, even if it's $1,000, do it.
It doesn't matter. You do your net worth formula every single time. Okay? So you go through that. So perseverance on that. Keep going through it. This is kind of interesting. I want to just share this. When you think about big goals and small steps, Benjamin Hardy tells us about Michelangelo's David. You guys know David, the statue of David, right? Michelangelo who created the David. When Michelangelo was asked how he created David, he said, I saw the angel in the marble and I carved it until I set him free. That's what you're doing with your real estate goals, your financial goals. You can see it in this block of marble, and your job is to set it free. So at some point, every single agent in their career has to have a prosperity pivot. Have ciphers of what's the end game of this. Most people never find what enough looks like, and so you have to know what your freedom number is, and the game will change. So what number is it financially for you that you're trying to go for, and why? Like that's really the question you want to ask yourself. Because I remember the first year I made, not my first real estate year, but I remember there was a year where I was like, man, I want to make, let's call it $200,000. I was like, that was my big goal. And I made $200,000, and this is so vivid. I remember I was in my office, my home office at the time, which was in the basement. I was by myself, just running through my numbers, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I just hit my goal. I hit $200,000. But what I didn't have is I didn't have my freedom number. And I hit that number, and I was like, oh, okay, so what? What's next, right? Like, at the end of the day, money doesn't bring us happiness. Money simply gives us the opportunity to be a vehicle for further happiness, security, and experiences.
Yeah, it's just a tool
right?
for happiness.
Just a tool. So I remember, like, to me, the goal was just making the money, and I got to that money part, and I was like, okay, that was cool. All right, next, right? Like, so you didn't really get to enjoy it. So that's why doing those vacations, having a real plan, and knowing your freedom number really makes a difference. So what is your freedom number to retire? That's what I was thinking about. Like, what number do I really need to retire on? Sharon Srivatsa shared the following thing. He said, use the 4% rule. It's your monthly expenses. So whatever you spend every month, $5,000, $10,000, $3,000, $20,000. I don't care how much you spend. But whatever you spend every month, you're going to multiply it by 300. It's going to help you identify what you need. So go to the next screen here. So go to the next screen. You're going to see here the 4% rule, securing your retirement freedom. Solves the problem, run out of money. So you know, monthly expenses times 3%. So when I retire, if you have expenses of $500 per month, then you know your freedom number needs to be $1.5 million. That's what you gotta have. It can be in stocks. It can be in a bank account. It can be through some investment stuff. But you've got to have that number to say, cool, that gives me the number I need to go travel, to take care of grandkids, to do whatever with my family. But that's your number, $8,000 per month, $2.4 million. $10,000 per month, $3 million.
Can I say one thing really quick? Also realize when you're going to retire what expenses will go away. Because you might have more expenses right now if you're running an office and you have an assistant and you have those things. So that could adjust that number and make it more.
But you do have expenses of getting old and assistant living.
That's fair.
So it will
Even out.
even out.
Yep.
Always better have more than less.
Yep, I love it. So think about this. Real estate is the vehicle, but the prosperity pivot is the destination. We're trying to create this destination where real estate is a vehicle for our wealth building and success. So it really comes down to three things building wealth. Number one, vision. Guys, this doesn't come down to leads. Like too often we get stuck on, I gotta have more leads to build more business. Yeah, you do have to have leads, but it really comes down to road and vision. Create the right mindset and define your destination. Number two, it's systems. Stop thinking and create systems that think and work for you. Number three is perseverance. Realize time is your best friend. Choose your heart. I like this idea that you guys are going to choose your heart. Is it hard to save money?
No.
Not for me, but
For
for a
some
lot of
people,
people,
no.
yeah.
For some people, yes. Like think about it. If you have $10,000, like all right, when I got my expenses of $4,000 to $5,000, I have an extra $5,000. I really want this new TV, but I have to save 20%, so I got to put $2,000 away. Is it hard to tuck away $2,000 when you only have 10?
Yeah.
Sure, that's hard. That's a hard reality for us, right? But it's also hard when you're older and you look back and say, well, I made $1.5 million over the last 15 years, but you have $7,000 in your bank account.
Yeah.
Is that hard? Yeah, that's hard too, all right? So you're going to choose your heart either way.
Can I add one thing on that?
Yes.
I know I just love talking. But what's helped me the most, besides this, the next thing I would add is proximity. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Have friends that you can talk about money and they're not
Real
jealous, they're not
conversations,
irritated. You can help each other grow. We can sit and talk about our portfolios and how you're going to expand them. You get great ideas.
Yeah.
Talk to you, that's very helpful.
You guys have real conversations. Like, it's okay to be real. Like, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going. Like, when I jumped into Real Broker, where I have some ownership on as an agent, again, my portfolio changed because all of a sudden stock was working for me when I wasn't working for myself. Like, it was massive. Hitting lead agent, they give me $16,000 of stock every year when I hit a lead agent. That's a massive bump. Like, there's things that happen that can propel and make your business grow faster and hit your goals quicker. I love this quote here by Benjamin Hardy: "Your future self is watching you. They're simply waiting for you to show up."
I like that.
So be connected to your future self. And then, if you're ready, I got one challenge for you. Are you guys ready to commit to this?
Yeah.
All right, let's commit to it. So, number one, I want you to stop. Okay? I want you to stop comparing yourself to anyone else. Don't reminisce on what could have been. If only I started sooner. Don't be grateful for what you have, where you are, and start working hard today. Take comfort in Henry Ford's statement that failure is simply the opportunity to begin and again, and this time more intelligently. So start more intelligently this time, right? But I want you to stop comparing. Number two, I want you to start. Take one step this week that your future self will thank you for. If it's getting the net worth formula, great. Start that. Grab it and start using it. Don't wait. Just pick a day and go for it right now, okay? Start tracking your net worth. Open a business banking account. Register as an LLC. Have one small success this week, and then follow up the next week with another small success until you start creating your own momentum. Don't accept defeat. Build the system. Keep showing up. Realize the masterpiece of your life is already inside of you. You just have to keep carving until you set it free. So, thank you. All right, guys, real quick here. I've got a couple things for you. This is to connect with me if you want to connect with me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, all that fun stuff. Connect with me here. But then on the right, get your network tracker. It's just going to ask you for your email address, and we'll send you over your network tracker as well. So we'd love to, if this helps empower your living. That really is my company. It's all about empowered living. So if we can empower your life in some capacity, that's a massive win, guys. So feel free to take a picture of that, scan the QR code, sign up for it. We'd love to make it happen and work with you in not just future transactions, but I want to hear about your successes. I want to hear 1 year from now and be like, holy smokes, I just saved this much money and I never dreamed it was possible.
Awesome.
Let's do it. That's cool.
I got a question. You probably got to go, but does anyone have any questions?
Yeah,
you
any
got a
questions?
few minutes, just take
Yeah,
questions
for
if
sure,
anyone wants. Yeah.
Chat.
I actually have a comment.
Okay.
So I've sat through a lot of masterminds in my day. We all have. And a lot of times it's nothing more than a talking head that's up there, or people that just preach something that they don't necessarily fulfill, right? The one thing I can say about Graham is he is just the opposite. He does fulfill. He didn't share it with you because he's very humble, but he paid his house off a few months ago.
We did. Yeah.
Completely.
That was a big goal for us.
With this formula.
Yep. Exactly right.
And that nonprofit he was working for was the Boy Scouts of America.
Yes.
And he's a state champion wrestler. He
So
speaks
Don't mess with him.
all 60 pounds of it.
Yeah.
I say that because take what he's saying serious. He is somebody that puts it into practice and fulfills. There's no hypocrisy in that.
No.
Yeah. No, thank you, Chad. I super appreciate it. But like, that was a massive goal. And again, when you pay off your house, we looked at paying off our house. It wasn't a decision of like, hey, this is going to dramatically increase our net worth, right? It does, but what it does, it dramatically reduced any friction of that. Oh man, what if this happens? Like all of a sudden, I own my house. That's what it is. And for my wife, that was a massive milestone.
Now you can fix your stove and microwave at the same time.
Well, at the same time, it's amazing. But what's cool, it freed up some mental capacity in the room to say, cool, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it better.
That's awesome.
So like, we're super proud of it. And if you ever have questions, there are some really cool ways you can pay off your house faster that we implemented. I'm happy to share them another time, whatever it is. But there's some things you can do to accelerate the growth and pay less interest, right?
So,
that's the goal.
I have a question. So once you become debt free, and because that's my goal in life, and I'm just right there, what do you do for write-offs? Like all of a sudden now you don't have the interest rates, or
but like thinking about my house, it wasn't that much of a write-off anyways.
Okay.
Because I was paying down my interest so quickly, right? So what are my write-offs? My write-offs are my business. I'm growing and developing, and I'm growing. I just keep growing my business, So I use that now. I use that money as a vehicle to more success. So honestly, you kind of stop worrying about write-offs. I mean, I let my accountant worry about write-offs. She's like, you got to do this and this. I'm like, great, I'll do that. But you start worried about generating opportunities to build income and wealth. And where can I take that money that I was paying off the house? How can I invest this to a new future opportunity?
Right.
Can I say one thing on this? I'm glad you hit on this because we all have different personalities and emotions, and the money game is a highly emotional game. And I'm an amasser who wants to put everything in investments. Like I don't want to pay off my house because I get a higher yield off my investments, right?
Yep.
So I'm comfortable not paying off my house. But my wife, on the other hand, wants as much money in checking and savings as possible, which is a terrible return, right? And the dollar's horrible. So, but what I learned was there was so much friction in our marriage over that when I finally just said, how much do you want in the bank?
Yeah.
I'll just put that much in the bank. I'll never touch it again. I don't care if it ever grows again. We're just always going to have that. So I just did that, and it changed everything.
It changed. Guys,
now she's all for me, like investing and buying stuff and houses. And
because she knows she's taken care of. She's got
she's like, oh, that's
That was her safety.
so it was unfair of me to take that from her because I could like look at our net worth, look at our assets, and she's like, yeah, but
and for my wife, that was a catalyst for us paying off the house. My wife said, I mentally need this paid off so we can do it. So we just said, let's go.
That's awesome. It changes. That one decision, regardless if someone can sit down and say, well, technically you'd net worth, what it did to you emotionally allows you to hit your goals faster and you'll be ultimately wealthier. So that is like a paradigm shift in your mind that helps you succeed.
It's interesting you say that because I talked to my accountant about it. I said, hey, my wife really wants to pay off our house, but you look at all these investing formulas, I better do this. She's like, look, she said, I work with lots of different high net worth clients. When you pay off your house, I've seen a lot of them increase faster to their goals. Because now that extra friction is gone out of their life and they're just ready to go. So just do whatever you want. But that was for us a massive step. Jordan.
I was going to ask, what was the biggest mindset shift too? Because like talking about spouses, it's hard if you're in the business world and to get them on board. But like, for example, my wife's a complete saver, right? We got married, I wanted to take my in-laws to Chick-fil-A and they wouldn't let me because they're just like, we're not letting you spend money on us. I'm like, well, this is weird.
Yeah.
So anyways, what was like the biggest mindset shift from you going from this nonprofit, $7,000 in the bank account, and maybe the mindset shift that you and your wife?
So go and go back if you can. It's going to be, it's where we talked about limiting beliefs.
Sorry, we got a little.
Okay, right there. So this is not a full list of limiting beliefs, but for me, I had a massive limiting belief. I believed, two things I believed. I believed that I'm not worthy to make money. Like, I literally was in that mindset that I'm not worthy to make money, and almost this idea that money is the root of all evil, right? There's this Bible scripture about whatever it is, right? I was like, yeah, I'm happy. I can be happy with where I'm at. And if I'm in gratitude, I'm going to be okay. Like, I remember my wife and I having this conversation. She, we forgot married. She's like, look, I don't care if you don't make any money. We're just love each other. Like, that's great. Like, we do love each other, right? So it's great. We love each other. But man, life sure gets a little easier when you have a little money in the bank account, right? So part of my shift had to be I had to be willing to accept and receive money and earn money. And that sounds crazy, because that's like, well, you're like, why would you not? I don't know. There was a block I had in my life that said I'm not worthy to make the money that I have coming in, and other people make money, not me.
So, what actions did you take to help you change that?
Yeah, so there's an interesting, I didn't do it in this one, we can do it another time, but there's an interesting thing you can do in this, guys. In fact, let's just do it real quick. This isn't the full thing by any means, but I want you to, if you just look at this list here, there's going to be one that you want to pick, because that's the one you're like, that's what I should pick, right? Don't pick that one. Pick the one like you know in your heart that's yours. And maybe it's not on this list, and you've got something else with it, okay? So do that. And then I want you to just stop for a second and work with me on this. Just close your eyes for a second. Or just close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes. I want you to envision what that phrase is up there on the screen. And then what I want you to do is I want you to, in your mind, to give a color to that. What color does that have? This simple phrase. And then I'm going to have you do something physically. I want you to point to where that lives inside of you. Where does that phrase sit? Okay. And then what I want you to do is wherever that is right now, I just want you to physically just pull it out, guys. Just rip that out. Whatever that is in your life. Just take it away and give yourself permission to say, that's not true to me anymore. So you're going to have a mindset shift with this. You just said, hey, I'm getting this thing out of my life because it doesn't serve me well. And then you're going to replace it with what does. So replace it with the opposite of that. So what's the opposite of that? If I wasn't worthy to make money before, guess what? I'm worthy to make money now. Money comes easy to me. Money lets me serve and bless other people. Okay, go ahead and open your eyes up now. So that's the way you start it. You literally have to name it. So and then you have to find it. You have to say, this is where it is in my life. And this is why it's roadblocking me from everything else that's good. Is that fair? And then, that's not enough, because you're going to fall right back into that shift. Then you create a system that says, okay, it's going to correct this now. I'm going to create a process and a system. So when my mindset wants to go back there, I've already told that it doesn't serve me anymore. I'm going to go somewhere else. And then go somewhere else. But create a system to help you do that, right? It's no different than any other addiction anyone else faces in their life, right? If you simply, look, it is an addiction to have these thoughts and these feelings. Like, it justifies why we're not achieving what we want to achieve in our life. Is that fair? Because look, if I'm not as successful as I want to be, well, it's because only other people make real money. That's not me and my family. We don't do that. That's not us, right? We're not that class, right? We're this class. It's easy just to justify why we're at where we're at. So it's an addiction to do that. So if you get rid of addictions by creating guardrails in place or systems, you have to do the same thing with this. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'll add to that is also, as you do this, the ones that you're around that still have the limiting beliefs will doubt you and will be frustrated with you. So you have to, I've lost friends over this because they were jealous or frustrated or whatever. And I've had to just commit to myself, no, this is my new way of belief, because it's easy to go back to dimming down your light or being like, just because people around you are uncomfortable. And that's why it's good to be around proximity of those that have the same kind of goals or that are ahead of you.
No, I think it's super powerful. So I don't know if that helped answer the question or get at least start that transformation process, because we all have it, guys. Even when you start having successes, these kind of things or something else will pop up. They're like, oh, that does not serve me. I need to remove that from my life. So part of what's powerful is you start this transition process. It's really who you are, who you want to become, right? So you start putting the process in place, the systems in place. You start tweaking small things in your life to help get you to where you want to go. So, last time I think we talked about the 5 targets of every agent when I came here to talk. Look, start putting those targets in your life, those habits. Start doing things that let you review and preview what's going on in your life every single day. Start journaling. Start doing things that make you a better human being. Mm-hmm. And they're going to start seeing that you're going to start doing more good for more people, and more good comes back to you as well. It's so cool. It's so powerful. And it's not hoodoo voodoo. It's mindset. And mindset drives actions.
Yep.
And actions drive results. Okay? Any other questions?
Are you going to share this deck?
I can show the slide deck. Yeah, just put it on that. Make sure you got the QR code link in there.
Yeah.
And we can get that out there. So let me ask this as we wrap up here. What was one powerful aha in this experience?
I'll go the net worth every month. I've never done that, and I'm going to now. That makes perfect sense.
Let's do it.
I loved it.
Isn't it awesome when something just aligns? You're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. This makes so much sense.
And I don't know why I haven't been doing
it. It's super easy.
It's so easy.
You're doing it anyway.
Okay.
Sitting there.
I love it. Powerful.
Bills, whatever.
Mine is my number. Like for me, I'm going to retire here.
Freedom number.
Freedom, right?
Yeah.
So I got 2 years, and I'm done. I'm out of here, right? Mm-hmm. So what is that number?
What's your freedom number need to be at? It's an empowering number, right? It's something scary. You're like, oh my gosh, that's not where I'm at. Well, that's okay. Or fabulous, I'm there. But it gives you kind of a guideline to say, okay, here's where the goalpost is, right? That's where I want to kick the field goal towards, because that's my goalpost, whatever it is, right? So you just got to figure out where it is, and it empowers you. Okay. Anything else? What else was a massive?
Mine was where I am today is the result of my past actions, and my future self should determine what I do today.
Yeah, that's powerful. And it's this idea, and it doesn't always have to be bad. Like, you'd be like, I am a freaking awesome place because I've done fabulous things over the last 10 years. Yes. Yeah. But you can also say, yeah, but I want to become this. And let me explain one thing, too, because it gets really tricky with this part of it. If you guys are okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely, please.
But one thing that happens is when we set these ideals of what we want to become or do, look, I can give you one guarantee. You're probably going to fall short of that. Fair enough? Mm-hmm. Like most people, Chad talked about me becoming a state champion wrestler. Most people have a goal to become a state championship wrestler. Very few actually become state championship wrestlers, right? But what's powerful is at the end of this, instead of being like, oh crap, like I didn't hit state, so really I'm not any good, you got to change your narrative. And you have to look backwards and be like, oh my gosh, I did all of these amazing things over the last 8 months of my wrestling life, whatever it was, right? So learn how to look backwards to look forward. Mm-hmm. And say, these are all the things I did that were fabulous, and this is where I want to keep going to.
Yeah. Love it.
So,
my epiphany was just when I was reading through those negative self-limiting beliefs, mine used to be the money's the root of all evil. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I did was do a give account. So every month, I give money away and help people, right?
So powerful.
Yeah, and it made me realize, actually, the more money I make, the more people I help.
The more good you can do.
The more good I do in the world.
And I had to have that same shift, Lewis, because that was one of my limiting beliefs, that money was the root of all evil. I worked for a nonprofit organization. I was helping people. But I remember getting to this place where I was like, I'm helping people raise millions and millions of dollars for the Boy Scouts of America. And yet, I can't even fix a stove. I was like, what is going on, right? And I wanted to give more than just my time. I wanted to give funds and resources to build a program. And I couldn't. And that's when it was like a mindset shift. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have money to help serve people at a better and more productive way than I have before. Mm-hmm.
I literally tell myself God wants me to have money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a power. Like, think about that. God wants you to have money. Some divine personages wants you to succeed.
Yeah.
That's
changes the way you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not here to suffer. We're here to grow and love life. Like,
we're here to empower, to grow, to love, to share. You got a question or thought?
No, the reverse engineering and just like look at where you want to be and then reverse engineer that, like, to get there. Because I think like through life goals have been talked about, but just for whatever reason that clicked to me. Like, oh, because Yeah, I just liked that a lot. And
Yeah.
I love when you were like, we're doing a deal and there's some excitement. I don't know why that, like, really, it's like, I love that excitement. Like, that's so positive.
Yeah.
Like, a way to, like, just that mind frame. And then the word, like, talking phrases you say to yourself. I say a lot of negative things to myself.
Yeah, we tell ourselves a pretty crappy story a lot of times, guys.
Yeah, if you took yourself out of your body and that was a person talking, you wouldn't like them.
No, yeah,
You'd be like, this guy's a douchebag, man. Like, he says all this mean stuff to me all day. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get rid of this guy. You know what I mean? Like,
Totally the truth.
it's the truth, you know?
So, yeah, absolutely true. And so, guys, my goal, and I'll get you real quick, but my goal is to, like, if we can help you start this journey of empowerment, then that's a win. Right? That's what it's all about, is how is your life going to be better, and how are you going to make somebody else's life better? Just paying it forward, because that's how life, that's how we operate in this world, right? That's what brings communities together, is when we stop getting so focused on what I need this second to make myself successful, and instead say, no, I've got processes and systems that are already in place. Let's go share and build and share light with others, and then they can share more light with other people. That's what lights the world at the end of the day, right? That's what brings us all together. So if there's times or places after this if we're done here, if you're like, Graham, I have a question about this, or I want to learn about this, or how do I become like this? Cool, just shoot me a call. Shoot me a text, email, give me a TM. You got my information there, the LinkedIn one as well. So hit that up. Okay, Chad.
Yeah, my takeaway from all of this, because obviously I've heard it before.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Is that the first time I did absolutely nothing after I heard it. If we all walk out of here and be like me the first time, it benefits you nothing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's action. We actually, even if it's just that small tidbit that you start with, whether it be your net worth or eliminating those limiting beliefs in your mind, you've got to start somewhere, or it will never happen.
Yeah, just do one thing. That's it. Just one thing. Don't, because I find with goal setting, we get overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do all these things. If I can't do all the things, I can't do anything. Let's just do one thing. That's it.
One little thing.
That's it.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Okay,
Thanks so much
thank
for your time. Well, thank you. Was that helpful? So good to have you.
Okay, so you're gonna, I have it up, you're gonna keep that active TC, and that's up through our finance. We would have to remove finance if you guys receive a document.